Greetings. This is Body-Culinary, sending you all some warm, positive vibrations. So, I'm out here in my little garden. I'm having some slipper mangoes. See, they look like a little slipper? Or like a little clog, a little shoe. These are, I think, one of my favorites this year. I've been having mango, apple mangoes, full belly mangoes. Oh my gosh. Apple mangoes, full belly mangoes, tiny mangoes. I said slipper mangoes. I can't even keep up with all different kind of mangoes. And now avocados are coming into season also. These little mangoes are so tender that you can even eat the skin. And the flavor is crazy. And I'm chasing it with some cucumber. And later I'm gonna have some of the long crooked neck avocado. I don't know if you've ever had those, but there's so many different varieties of avocado. So I got fiber in the mango. I'm eating the skin right here, a lot of the skin. That's not all. I got my cucumber. So it's a lot of water in the food. So, you know, I'm amazed every time some people say, oh, you have really nice skin. And I'm like, it's kind of amazing to me because I have really jacked up looking skin. I was looking bad, real bad. And I don't like to have to wear makeup. I'm not knocking anybody with makeup. I can appreciate a beautiful, fresh face and makeup. But I like to be active. So quite often I'm exercising. I'm going to be taking 3 showers or whatever per day, and putting makeup back on is too much. And I used to work in the airline industry, constantly just caking it on. It doesn't, intuitively, it doesn't feel good to me. It felt like prison. So I'm not in a space in my life where I want to be imprisoned by my hair or by my body or by my food. I've taken it off the table. And that frees up lots of time for other stuff. Maybe one day I'll wear makeup, I don't know, but I don't feel the need to. I like to see what my hair and my skin and my nails are saying in terms of my health, so I can see what, if anything, I need to correct. Right? So I don't mind beautifying, putting coconut oil and olive oil, massaging my hair, my skin, my breasts, all that stuff for health. But just caking stuff on, just a full makeover, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. This is it. I'm good enough. And the other thing, I'm not slicking this. I'm not doing it. I'm not using no gel. Oh, this is water. Little piece of hair and some water. That's it. Like a mini, teeny, tiny double strand twist. That's it. Now, I don't have no hair, no oil running down my face, which contributes to acne. And then in the garden, all the dust will get stuck on your face. Everything. I have very fine hair. Everything gets stuck in it. All my locks are growing in flat. Not a problem. I could totally get with the flat locks because as somebody with very fine hair, then my hair doesn't look so scalpy, and I take advantage of the fro for it to have a full look. I don't part anything with a comb, off the table, shower caddy, done, finish, party done. I threw it away a long time ago. So freedom. That's more cash for seeds and garden equipment and travel. I don't have to worry about my hair when I'm traveling. Actually, I've mentioned some of my other videos, I didn't intend to get locks. My hair started locking when I was traveling. And again, I was only at one point putting maybe olive oil and some shea butter in my hair. But when I was traveling and I stayed for a while in the bush and I didn't have access to anything, which is fine. My hair and skin were crazy, smooth, clear without putting, when I say nothing. My skin just kind of balanced and was greetings, was just balanced with needing when I say nothing on my skin, I mean literally zero, nothing. Thank you. Simple. And this is just to keep it off of my neck because it's really hot here. But my hair tangles very easily. It was locking on its own. I didn't want locks. I was trying to take it out with a safety pin. Too much work. So I said, fine. I've done everything with my hair from baldy, afro, cornrows, double strand twist. So let it lock. I could always cut it off later. I have no problem I shaved it bald one time, but I like the peach fuzz and I like a couple of designs in my hair. I could always put a hat on if it gets cold. So I do not have any. I feel stunningly beautiful with no hair. And my son was like, "Mommy, you did that before. Why don't you try something different?" Thanks, son. I will. So here we are. It's so delicious. So I've done several stints with oil and without oil. The last time I caught myself putting oil on, when I start grooming and massaging myself, I go all the way. So I'm like constantly oil. It felt so good, the oil going in. But one day I went to touch my hair and it felt like plastic. I'm like, where the heck this come from? And I could not get it out. I couldn't wash it out, nothing. I wound up doing one of these so-called apple cider vinegar baking soda. I had never put baking soda, and I don't even want to put baking soda in this hair because it's so delicate. It can break and pop off at the drop of a dime. My hair does not like to be touched, messed with at all. This is what it's telling me. But I did it, and that was quite traumatic. So I was like, you know what? Done with the oils. Forget it. Finito. Not doing it. So again, something else that I've taken off the table. So somebody asked me about shampoo before. On rare occasions when I use shampoo, it's not the 99-cent silicone-free Tutti Frutti shampoo, because a lot of stuff you can't find here where I am in Central America. Well, now they do have some stuff at some of these discount stores. When I was in the bush, forget it, but I wasn't looking for stuff then. But stuff that even maybe silicone-free, it still has other chemicals in it. And I'm very sensitive to the smell, the scent of chemicals. I don't like chemical dishwashing liquid. I just don't like artificial scents. And I do find that cheap shampoos will strip your hair and leave them feeling very brittle. So just on a fluke, I happen to find this one store with a little bottle of random natural shampoo, no sulfates, no parabens, no GMOs, no none of that stuff in there. It was more pricey, but you know what? It's clear, nothing in it, and my hair felt distinctly different, and it didn't feel stripped. So that's where we're at now. So now it's dry only in the sense that it's not wet, but it's extremely soft with no conditioner. Yeah. So if anything, periodically, most of the time I'll rinse it with water or black tea or nettles or neem. There's several herbs that I can grow over here in the garden that I'll just rinse it with. And that's it, and periodically. But I'm not putting anything in it to wash out buildup. So I don't need it. I just don't need it. So what do you use now? So I can show you like 2 seconds what I'm doing. I wash it. That's so good. I wash it. Maybe once or twice because there ain't much in there. Maybe sometimes a little sebum, which I don't mind. But my hair is such a sandy brown. Sometimes it might look, and I do now have a water filter, which I had in the States, but I have one now here. I'm on my shower. So it will look kind of like the sebum, the natural sebum, and make it look like it's gray. It has a grayish tint. But my natural hair tone is like a sandy brown color. So all I do is wash it and blot it with a microfiber towel or a regular towel, maybe 3 small towels. That's it. And when the piece is hanging out of hair, I take it and I stuck it in the root, because you see all this is afro here. And that's it. Every now and then I may pull a little piece out on the side, little curly Q with some water. That's it. Gently separate sometimes, because my hair will, if I put it like this to get it out of my way for exercise when it's wet, it gets flatter quicker, and my hair is so fine, it gets flat, like super flat. All of these is going to be flat. All of my hair is coming in flat now, right? So these old cylindrical that are left from when I used to have double strand twists. But I like the spongy afro, but it gets flat. So you could probably see now what if getting flat, super flat. So it's not dense at all. But I don't mind. I feel like it makes it look full. So a gentle separation. That's it. Nothing else. So I think maybe psychologically it may require getting used to. And then also, I've always, even when I was a loose natural, looked to find styles that were complementary to very fine hair. So I wasn't a big cornrow. I wasn't good at cornrows, but I learned how to do a flat double strand twist to the scalp, and just double strand twists and do twist outs. And then I really got into Afro puffs. So I would wear the same thing, but I would do Afro puffs in the gym, which I really like. So now I got a little bit of length. Now I'm just starting to get some length to my shoulders. So now I can wear my favorite hairstyle again. Well, this is my favorite hairstyle. Some people say, Princess Leia, you look like Princess Leia. I'm like, maybe Princess Leia look like me. So that's all. Not so much. Maybe a little teeny bit down here, but not really. Not really. Maybe a little bit, like I've stripped it down so much with that one time I had all the oil in there. And so sometimes also the sun is bleaching my hair, but maybe a little teeny bit. But no, there's no oil to draw stuff to my hair. Periodically, I'll take the softest of a soft, like a baby bristle brush and brush it. But even that, I don't like to do anything too much to my hair. My hair is so delicate. You know, I want to keep it on my head, so I don't mess with it. But I'm not, no, there's no oil. So it's super light, which I love. It's light. There's no buildup because there's no oil. There's no oil. So I just had to wrap my mind around no oil. Oh, by the way, look at my little design. You like my design? Afro. Celebrate the little, well, not the little, but this unique beauty stamp here. Then my sister made this from Masani wearable sculpture. She hammered this by hand. I don't, everything I wear, I like to have personal meaning. And then there's a beautiful sister here in Central America named Kaj. And she makes this, she custom makes this. So I don't like a whole bunch of stuff dangling off me because I like to exercise a lot. But I like really little exquisite pieces. If I'm picking up a weight, it's not smashing my hand. And this is kind of blinged out for me, but I just thought this was so pretty. So I'm big on encouraging women and young women to get over the thrill and buy yourself an engagement ring first. Marry yourself, your own spirit, your own purpose, your own soul purpose first. First, so you're not sitting there waiting in vain, waiting for someone to choose you. Choose yourself first. I invite you to. I don't like to tell grown folks what to do. And I think it makes a world of difference, right? Very affordable. I just think it's so pretty. I love pretty things. Which brings me to beauty food, right? So somebody that had quite a case of unsightly acne, what cleared it up was food, right? So when we think beauty foods, people just think all these pills and supplements. And trust me, I was the health food store queen for decades. I remember one time as I started eating living foods more, I've been consuming living foods pretty exclusively, going on, I think, 12 years now, which is good because I take dieting off the table. I had this thing with taking things off the table. So I don't have to worry about it. I don't want to come back and I don't have to worry about it no more. If I felt like putting makeup, I could. I just don't feel the need to. And I like my own skin and my hair. I love it. I have this thing I call my radical self-acceptance. This is it. This is what I look like. This is how it's coming out of my head. This is how it's coming out of my hands. This is it. I'm not turning myself inside out. I love grooming and taking care of myself, but this is what I look like. So I've taken off for long periods, for years, all jewelry, I wasn't a big makeup wearer. Maybe I wore mascara. But I take it all off the table. And my thing is to validate myself, give myself the validation and the care that I would want from others. And that's it. Hey, greetings from Meta and Locahantas. So much easier to live in truth when you live in the tropics. The first is very different. I don't understand the second part of what you're saying. The first is very different. And I did not always live in the tropics. No, people saying that. BK, honey, New York, ice cold. Riding to work, having clients at 4:30 in the morning. Riding my bicycle through Brooklyn. I was growing food on fire escape in jars. Finally, the doors flying open. Growing food in a small apartment. For some reason, I was always determined to grow my own food. So I found things that I could grow sustainably in an apartment. Mom with a son, and I worked it out. Living foods, sharing living foods with my sister, my son, client workload for a company, private clients, full schedule. But I just prioritized it. So if you really want to do something, you can do it. I think if I came over to your house right now and I was sharing mangoes, we were jumping double dutch and we were exercising and making good food, it would be a no-brainer. I think some of us, the pace that we're living at, we don't have, many of us don't have community. Even like, though I love African dance class, my first love, African dance, capoeira, yoga. You know, sometimes you want something, no, quite often you want something after the class. You want a sense of community. Sometimes that can be loaded because there's a lot of cults going around, you know. But, you know, I think about before I came to Central America, who do I want to spend the next portion of my life with, you know? I'm starting to get, you know, grays, you know, and stuff like that. And I'm really feeling embracing wisdom. Many women, modern Western women, are fighting tooth and nail to be in suspended animation and frozen in time, and they're scared of getting old. Even the term old doesn't even resonate with me. Now I say, age is a number, but it's a chronological number. But your energy, if we're depleted and if we're in toxic relationships, if we're doing a lot of things that we don't want to do, if we don't have self-discipline, then it can really make us feel drawn and make us feel, you know, old. But if you're playing and you're eating happy food and you still have the use of your body and your common sense, and you prioritize play, which you need your body to be healthy to do, it's a different channel. It's a different channel. It's definitely a mood shifter when you are intentional and very aware of your consumption. Like, for example, you know, people will ask what I'm eating, and I see all these "what do you eat in a day" videos. And as someone that's actually classically trained as a chef, but also way before culinary school, I was making food. We try to get so gourmet that sometimes it can wind up being too much calories, too much dense food, constantly like pacifying, like the food is like a cigarette or like a pacifier. But sometimes we don't appreciate the simplicity and the water and the flavor in simple fruits and vegetables. Some of us can't even taste the natural sweetness in the cucumber because we're eating so much salt and the tongue is coated with so much oil. Oil for me used to be gravy and salt. I love all those things, but I would say consuming in this way. And I'm very sensitive to lyrics and music. I'm sensitive to violence, all this other stuff. So we wonder why we're not feeling good. We're feeling old, you know. You're invited to take a look at your consumption. We're constantly fighting to stay younger instead of respecting the life processes. Let me tell you something. I would not trade the wisdom that was hard earned with butt kicking lessons. I would not trade my wisdom for anything. I wouldn't trade it to be 20 years old. I just wouldn't. Can you share a bit of why you left the U.S.? How do they treat Blacks where you are? Well, this part of Central America, you have different groups. You have Garifuna, which I would say are a group of African folks here more in the southern part of Belize or Belize. You have mestizos. You have the Mayan people. You have also Creole people, which are like just a mixture of everyone. So I would say, I don't know, that I guess it's a loaded question. I would say they're treated all right. People are okay here. I think you can find different types of discrimination everywhere. But I guess it's okay. It's not a lot of folks. I think also I move a certain kind of way. So I tend to make an effort not to put myself in harm's way. And I look for every excuse to do what I want to do and move out in the world. You know, if that's move with my locks, move amongst different groups of people, for clients, even amongst my own folks. So they're treated we're treated okay here, but there's stuff everywhere. There's stuff everywhere. Just like you can find rotten behavior that's chocolate, vanilla, yeah, banana. You know, so I don't know. I just have mixed emotions. I have a tendency to turn down the volume and look at people's behavior and their patterns. Right? That's whoever you are. I'm not in a phase of life. Life lessons have taught me to look at the character of a person, because we can get really distracted by someone's persona, their gift of gab, their talent. They look good, totally in the absence of character. I mean, look at the president of the United States. I mean, there's such a feeling of it's like cults have gone viral. You got political cults, you've got celebrity cults, you've got religious cults, you've got pseudo spiritual cults, you've got conscious cultural cults, you know, and many of us are looking for other people to think for us because we're maybe too scared or traumatized and don't want to think for ourselves. So we're addicted to looking for leaders. So I've had my stint and my share, and I'm good. I'm good. I treat people fair. I deal with people, you know, accordingly. So I mean, that's the simplest way I can put it. Where are you from, Fametta? I don't know if that's a southern name. Fametta, darling. Is that sound from that's from the south? I don't know if that's from the south. And Locahontas. I don't know if that's a name that social media name. But anyway, I was saying I'm eating food like some of the things I'm sure I say the same thing over and over and over again. But it's all right. That when you're eating very natural, whole foods, and the distinction I make, well, I love distinctions, right? Because sometimes we can think that we're all thinking and saying the same thing, and we're not, right? And manipulators on the grassroots level to, you know, high level manipulators control the context of words, of meanings, of stories, right? Constantly somebody's writing the narrative, right? And so the context that I'm referring to for whole foods, you can still, oh, this smells like perfume. If you could smell it, you can still recognize it as food. It has its living water intact, right? So that's a quite a distinction for living foods, because some people can say raw food and be talking about raw junk food, or just raw cakes and pies, cakes and pies, cakes and pies. Or some people are actually eating raw flesh, whether that's bison, raw fish. I used to eat raw sushi. Did a stint of sushi before I went back again. I went from vegan to vegetarian to poultry when I used to do fitness competitions, and just decided I just don't intuitively, I didn't feel like eating flesh anymore. So I'm not here to tell people what to do. I can only share my experience. It will be for you. Your journey, your life, no matter what has happened to you, is your responsibility. Is your responsibility. So anyway, people can call all kinds of junk food and things that are clogging you up and breaking out your skin raw foods, raw vegan. So I'm wary a bit of only relying on the label. Now the label is a distinction, because my preference energetically is to eat foods that cause the least harm, ideally cruelty free. So I don't prefer any animal products at this phase in my life. If I felt something was better and worked for me, then I would do it. This is what works for me. So again, you'll have to find your own journey. How are you guys handling Corona there? I saw that many Americans or overseas came home. Again, I give thanks for a simple lifestyle. I downsized years ago. I don't spend a lot on a whole lot of things. You know, it's a Banana Republic shirt. I paid $2.50 for this. It's my first pair of jeans, I think, in years. Because I get bit up sometimes by mosquitoes in the yard. So, you know, internet is not as fast here. There are trade-offs. You know, it's for each of us to decide what you prioritize in your life. So makeup is not a priority for me. Running to the clubs is not a priority for me. Shop until I drop is not a priority. I could take off all the stuff. That don't really do anything for me. So my health is a priority for me. It has been for years. I do not play when it comes to my health. I'll spend money on food before I spend money on clothes. So I have pretty much a similar rhythm that I had in the States in terms of I ride my bicycle for transportation. Now, mind you, for me, my lifestyle, for me, keeps my immune system up. One of the things for me to constantly be mindful of when I'm working more, right, if I'm working independently, you know, from the computer, because I'm my staff, is sleep. You know, but I got the most sleep I ever had when I came to Central America years ago. But I just take, again, trade-offs. I take a lot of stuff off the table. So I'm not thinking about hair, shopping, you know, competing with. It's a lot of things I have taken off the table. So I live a good, simple life. So I would say here, they're practicing social distancing. More people are starting to come out more normalized. It gets very hot here, 99, 100, 104, 107 sometimes. So I can feel like my whole face mask feels like it's soaking wet, which doesn't feel good on my face. But we're just seeing in the last 2 weeks, shops really starting to open. The borders have been closed for a while. So new meaning to eat local. And even if you're in a city, I invite everybody, even if you're in an apartment, I invite you, find a way to start growing some food. I think it's really, really important. I do have some videos on this channel. So look through the channel, especially look through the old content. Because I'm always thinking for my nieces, for family members, friends, that are back in the States. Even somebody else may come across the information here, and it can be useful. So I'm big into like a good life, a wealthy life, but downsized and simple. So I prefer the garden, sleep, doing work that I love, which I've been doing for consistently. So I feel like my lifestyle helps to keep my immune system up. At the same time, I don't sleep on anything because I've heard, I look at all these different theories going on with a grain of salt and just make every effort to use my onboard common sense, right? No matter who's in front of me, whether you got Locs, whether you, the president, whatever your skin color, religion, I look at everything with a grain of salt. So, my lifestyle, I would say I never thought before of arms. That is definitely a consideration. Now, there's definitely something I invite women to get fit, not just for vanity, but to be able to defend yourself. Doesn't mean that you're not feminine, but feminine strength and common sense in terms of, you don't want to wait till it's too late to be able to defend yourself. And I think, quite honestly, we get better treatment if folks felt there was immediate consequence for violations. So imagine if a whole swarm of chocolate bees came and descended upon somebody that was violating a woman or child. I'd like to see that happen with all the femininity and the grace in the world. So this is a time, discernment, to get your lifestyle on point to what you say is important to you. So health is a priority to me. Fitness, so I can operate. If I wasn't fit, I don't know if I'd be able to live here. There's a lot of walking that goes here. Anywhere I go, I get a bicycle. So my sister and I have bicycles, but hills can get pretty steep here. Any place with more steep hills than here is Guatemala, when we went over to Guatemala. But sometimes I'm pushing 6 bags of produce from the market. We have some stuff that we grow in the garden, but also we shop at the market with the other farmers. So, it's an active lifestyle. So many of us, we sit behind the screen talking about we want to do this and that. But we have so many vices and so many addictions and stuff. They're quite a financial and a psychological distraction. It's quite a distraction. So I hope that answers your question. Few people are practicing social distancing. Shops have started to open up. Belize does have low numbers. I try not to manage what I'm watching on social media, because sometimes it's just too much, and it can really wear on you watching all of this stuff. And I make an effort to just be very proactive in my life when it comes, again, to fitness, health, spending. No, it's not a honey melon. This is actually a slipper melon, a slipper mango. So it's mango season. So I've been eating mangoes. With probably me and my sister ate several hundred mangoes now. And I'm not kidding. Like several hundred mangoes. Easy. But if I'm eating mangoes, I'm not mixing 5 million things with it. I may have some cucumber or with it, but I'm eating all different kinds of mangoes, right? And I do make sure that I'm physically active, so I'm not just piling myself up with sugar that I'm not using. But I'd rather eat this than Now Laters or candy or Skittles. As someone that was a junk food junkie, that at this point makes no sense to me. It doesn't make sense to eat food that is going to rob me of my beauty. And for me, healthcare is the ultimate beauty product. Let me put it like that. That's my ultimate beauty product, because I don't want to have to wear makeup. I don't want to have to wear Spanx. I don't want to have to buy a new size of clothes. Look, this is cute. It's probably like $2.50, $7.50. These are like some cute little, I don't know, Banana Republic. I don't have to buy new clothing sizes. You know what I'm saying? I can wash the stuff and put it right on the line, honey. So that's what I'm saying. Simple, good life. Simple, good life. So I've been eating these today, and I had some apple mango, but I ate all the apple mangoes. But these look like a little slipper. And there's another variety of these that are about this big, that are humongous. And so on one of my neighbor's tree up the street. So I'm waiting for those suckers to ripe and fall. And just yesterday, another neighbor called and said, come. And I'm thinking, like, who the heck is this dude? So I called my sister. I'm like, check it. Somebody's calling me across the street. I don't know who he is. So I don't like to roll by myself. So we roll over there. He said, look, just take what you want. And he put a little teeny sign that said free. And my sister took a bag and she just proceeded to go shopping. And then we see he had a whole stash, a whole crazy. I was like, somebody in here is indigenous. Because if you looked at their whole little garden, teeny tiny farm setup, somebody knew what they were doing in terms of making trellises, for lettuce and greens and peppers and mango trees, all kind of stuff right in the back of the yard. I would never know it was there across the street. But we probably gave us a bag of about maybe 30 mangoes. Thank you. Thank you, son. is beauty food. I'm simple over here. What I mean by beauty food, first of all, it's got living water in it. That's going to keep you nice and hydrated. It's got fiber. It's got color. It's got flavor. It's got beta carotene. It's got sunshine vitamins, and it's got sunshine. So I'm eating foods that, if you want your hair to grow, I got to say, I think many people have considered a plant-based, vegan, living foods consumption because of vanity. But hey, whatever works, to get your hair to grow. So if you're eating fake food, even though it says fat-free, and I'm telling you, somebody that's been in the fitness business, has competed in fitness, fake food, how is that supposed to furnish your body and nourish your body at a cellular level, right? That don't make sense. So I feel like there's a different channel. Eating happy food. I'm eating food that doesn't, I know what somebody, one of my friends, she laughs at me. I say, it doesn't leave waste on your waist. So doesn't that make sense? It's another channel. I think this is so simple. It's like a re-education process, but it's a very enjoyable lifestyle. You can find the balance. There's enough protein in nature. There's enough calcium. There's enough to nourish your bones, right? All you got to do is add in the play, right? The challenging play, which is great to release stress, great for your lymphatic system, great for your elimination. I mean, and if you're having fun, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Anyway, I just wanted to stop by to share, pretty food, beautifying food, right? Mama Nature has got us covered, right? And it's fast food, easy in and easy out. You don't need to take a whole bunch of laxatives because the food is going to do that for you. You suck up the nutrition and easily pass out the fiber and the waste. So this is Body-Culinary. Send you some warm, positive vibrations. Feel free if you like to subscribe to the channel, share the video perhaps with someone that could use some support or some encouragement. If you want to start a garden, cultivate a personal movement practice. If you have very fine, kinky hair, very delicate, like me, if you had a lot of acne, welcome to the channel. Share with somebody who would benefit. And subscribe to the channel and follow Body-Culinary if you like on other social media, which would be Instagram and Facebook. Yeah, I'm sure some other ones in there, but those are mainly what I'm on. So, and also check out bodyculinary.com. Oh, that's right. There's several workshops there. There's one, healthy eating for men folk that may be interested in eating plant-based. So I had all of these men come on my Facebook page. I don't know, out of nowhere. So there's a workshop there. And also, we're not out of the woods yet in terms of this whole pandemic. So for those that were asking questions, food preparedness, if you're eating whole, unprocessed plant foods as a lifestyle, food preparedness and food preservation, that is a workshop that is on the bodyculinary.com website. If you have questions about this lifestyle, if you want to get the short program that's laser for folks that want to well, how are you living this life, eating, how do you sustain it? If you want to get laser in terms of my whole mindset, as somebody who used to be a junk food junkie and had jacked up skin, there's Whole Living Foods in the Hood, part 1 with menus to fit your budget. That one is not a recipe book, but if you want to just tap into the clarity of my mindset and my thought process around eating this way, whole, fresh, living, unprocessed fruits, vegetables, seeds, and nuts, as well as if you want visuals on what I've packed for myself, my sister, and my son, the busy lifestyles of trainer. And then there are several shopping lists, right, with sample menus on when you buy all this fresh food. Some people let the stuff rot in the refrigerator. So if you want, you probably hear my sister training in the back. But if you want ideas on what I make with all of this produce, right? Because a lot of times I would buy produce either from the food co-op, the farmer's market, or go to the wholesaler, right? So what are some things I would make with all this produce? So Whole Living Foods in the Hood, part 1, with menus to fit your budget. You see some visuals of the different shops and ideas of what I prepared with it and all my tips on exactly how I'm making this lifestyle sustainable. And I've been doing this is my 12th year. Right? And I just celebrated a birthday. My sister be telling our birthdays. I'm like, we aging backwards. What do you keep telling the birthday for? But anyway, check that out on bodyculinary.com. If you're interested in trying to reach me directly, you can do that over there on the website. All right, y'all. See you soon. You are welcome.